Moving on now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Lucknow to inaugurate the 11th edition of the Defence Exposition. Over 1,000 companies from 38 nations are participating in Defence Expo 2020 this year. State-owned Hindustan Aeronautics Limited will be showcasing its prowess in defence and aerospace around the theme of digital transformation of defence. HAL will also be showcasing indigenous Tejas fighter aircraft along with other war machines. Rafale fighter jet manufacturer Dassault Aviation is also taking part in the exposition. Rafale model has been displayed at the event. The 5-day exposition aims to bring state-of-the-art technologies in the defence sector under one roof. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met with defence dignitaries from United Kingdom, UAE, United States ahead of the exposition.
जितना हमने सोचा था उससे कहीं ज्यादा ग्रैंड और कहीं ज्यादा भव्य यह इवेंट होने जा रहा है और 70 से भी ज्यादा कंट्रीज और 1000 से भी ज्यादा एग्जिबिटर्स के साथ यह देश का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा डिफेंस एक्सपो है। एग्जैक्ट फिगर यदि मैं बताऊं तो 856 इंडियन कंपनीज पार्टिसिपेट कर रही हैं और 172 foreign companies में participate कर रही हैं।
India wants to enhance its defense capabilities as rapidly as possible, including building an indigenous defense capability, but that won't happen overnight, but it has to continue to put resources into this area and work with partners such as, I think, U.S. companies that are willing to co-produce in India and look at India not as a marketplace just for what's here, but as a potential global hub for manufacturing defense equipment.
Abhishek Bhalla is joining us on the phone line for the very latest from the Defence Exposition 2020. Abhishek, the biggest military fest has kicked off. What's new this year? War machines from 38 different nations are being displayed right there. I'm going to throw straight across to you to bring us up to speed.
Obviously, domestic manufacturing, make in India, and to show to the world that India has the prowess to move and take a step forward as far as defense manufacturing is concerned. So joint ventures with foreign companies is something that is being discussed. There are various seminars that are being held with stakeholders. And also what is new this year is that there is an Indo-Afro defense conclave that is also taking place. There are both countries from Africa that are participating in discussions. The idea behind it is to ensure that Africa can be a potential export destination as far as defense equipment from India is concerned. As we speak, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also reached the venue here in Lucknow, and in some time he will start speaking. Of course, it is the biggest military event as far as India's defense manufacturing and various joint ventures are concerned. The Prime Minister, because of this being a high-profile event, the Prime Minister is obviously here. He was supposed to be here early in the morning, but that got delayed because of his prior engagements in Delhi. This is the 11th edition of the Def Expo, and in some time to now, the Prime Minister will begin his address.
Right. Over 1,000 companies, Abhishek, from 38 different nations are participating in Defence Expo 2020 this year, and we're getting those visuals coming in from Lucknow as well. There's Yogi Adityanath, who is sitting right next to the Prime Minister too. What time does the Prime Minister start speaking, Abhishek?
Well, he's reached the venue, and in some time we expect him to make the inaugural address. There are various delegates from various countries. Yesterday the Defence Minister also spoke about how important this event is as far as converting India into a defence manufacturing hub is concerned. And the Defence Minister also said that India is hoping that through defence manufacturing it can take a leap forward in not just the defense sector, but in also enhancing its economic prowess through the defense sector. So there is a lot of push on Make in India as far as this government is concerned, and a lot of foreign manufacturers have been
there, Abhishek. We're just going to dip in live to the Defence Exposition 2020. Let's listen in. Abhishek Bhalla is with us. Abhishek, what's interesting is that the Rafale fighter jet manufacturer Dassault Aviation is also taking part in the exposition, and the Rafale model has been displayed at the event. If you could just walk our viewers through all that is interesting that you see around in the Defence Exposition.
Well, this is, expected to be the largest defense expo ever that India has held. The biennial event, which is held, in 2 years, is the 11th edition of that. 172 companies from outside India are participating, and in all, 1,028 companies are participating in this. There are over 20 seminars that are expected where, discussions, deliberations on various issues will also be discussed. Several agreements, memorandum of understanding for several projects are also expected to be signed. And what is very interesting is that this year, for the first time, an India-Africa Defence Conclave is also scheduled, keeping in mind the growing, cooperation with African countries. And, this is being held, keeping in mind the fact that Africa could be a major export destination for India. And several defence ministers are also participating. We are told that at least 40 defence ministers from various countries have already come, and they are present during the Defence Expo, which is taking place in Lucknow this year.
Also, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met up, Abhishek, with defence dignitaries from UK, UAE, United States. All of these meetings also took place. If you could fill us in on that.
Yes, as I was saying, that there are at least 40 defence ministers that have come here. They are attending the event. They are having discussions with the defence minister, meeting the Indian industry, the Indian defence public sector undertakings. Their representatives are also meeting with these foreign delegates. In addition to this, obviously there are foreign companies. So this is actually a hub of of discussion on joint ventures as far as defence manufacturing is concerned. The defence minister yesterday also did mention that as far as defence manufacturing is concerned in India, it will give a big push to the Indian economy. And keeping that in mind, the Indian government is planning more joint ventures to make sure that...
So obviously, Abhishek, the focus is now on showcasing India's potential to become a manufacturing hub going forward as well, and somewhere giving a fillip to the economy.
That's right, and that is the focus of the Indian government for the last few years. And what better opportunity than the Defence Expo to showcase that, because there is a huge presence of all the stakeholders, major stakeholders from all over the world, and they are looking at opportunities to set up manufacturing hubs in India. Also, agreements of transfer of technology. That's something that India and other stakeholders are looking at, and it's very significant that the Prime Minister himself will be speaking.
Right, Abhishek, stay with us right there. Shiv Arur is joining us from the newsroom. Shiv, give us a perspective. The main theme of the Defence Expo 2020 is the emerging defence, is India emerging as a defence manufacturing hub, also about the digital transformation of defence. So are these the two key pillars of the Defence Expo 2020?
That's right, Chaiti. It's been an ongoing effort for a very long time now. Make in India in defence specifically is something that has taken its time. There have been some successes in the last few years, but nothing compared to the real ambitions, of India's private sector. There have been, very, very wide-ranging proposals to manufacture all manner of equipment in India, including fighter aircraft, submarines, tanks, weaponry, missiles. missiles, you name it. And it hasn't really taken off in a big way just yet. The reason why the Def Expo is being held in Lucknow this year is also because of a new defense industrial corridor that's been inaugurated, along the Kanpur-Lucknow axis. And the government is very keen to attract investment into those economic zones for defense industry. Remember, there are some defense industries that are coming up. In Amethi, there is a new Kalashnikov joint venture facility which will be building hundreds of thousands of rifles for the Indian Army. Similarly, the government wants many more such, business activities in that particular industrial corridor. And Def Expo is seen as a kind of platform to showcase, why Uttar Pradesh and that particular industrial corridor will be attractive to defense industry if it wants to invest. Remember, all of this, Jayati, comes at a time of an economic slump in the country, and defense industry is massively capital intensive. India has been notoriously slow moving in terms of reform as far as defense production is concerned. So we're hoping that Def Expo will provide some direction and signal into how the Modi government really wants to, kickstart and boost Make in India and defense.
That could also then shift focus to how many MOUs then get inked at the Defence Expo 2020, the result being forging of new business collaborations as well.
There's no doubt about it. MOUs, partnerships, strategic alliances, those sorts of things happen as a matter of routine at shows like Def Expo. Memorandum of understanding is no more than a kind of intent to, partner in future projects. The real meat of such shows will also be on actual joint venture agreements, actual orders for equipment, announcements of intent in terms of collaborations for existing projects. That's the real meat, because an MOU is nothing more than really just a signal of intent. But more than just that, remember, the Indian defense industry, and there are many companies, the Mahindras, the Tatas, L&T, Bharat Forge, so many other companies, both big and small, that are there in a big way. And one of the big highlights of Def Expo this year, Chaiti, is not really so much the big companies, like the Tatas and the others, but the small, the MSMEs and the small startups that are there at Def Expo doing very specialized work in defense. There are companies building India's first sniper rifle. There are companies building, small drones for police forces and, anti-terror operations. So these are very small companies, populated by maybe 5 or 6 people, including scientists, who are doing fantastic cutting-edge defense work. They will be profiled and on display at Def Expo as well.
All right, thanks much, Shiv, for bringing our viewers up to speed and giving that perspective on Def Expo 2020. Make in India clearly being the focus right there. That was Shiv Aruz joining us.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.